All right, folks, it's Joe Duffy with a free pick for September the 1st, your Grandmaster Sports Handicapper. You know what? I got to have some news and notes in a moment. By the way, I do have two winners for Thursday night, two premium bets, a side and a total in college football. Plus, I actually have a Major League Baseball run line as well at offshoreinsiders.com. I'm going to give you a free pick for tonight. I like Penn State minus the 3.5 at Purdue. Now, look, this did open up also at 3.5. There is a sizable divergence in the betting split. 62% of the bets are on the road favorite of Penn State, yet 67% of the cash is on the home underdog. Now, granted, a lot of handicappers would say this implies a sharp bet on Purdue, but we're not always going to go with where the sharp money is going. Sometimes the sharp money is wrong. I think this is a textbook case of a team that overachieved last year. Purdue definitely outperformed, while very few teams underperformed last year more than Penn State. You remember Penn State was a dark horse. A lot of people thought they could give Ohio State a run for their money in winning the Big Ten. And I've discovered, look, I've been at this for more than 3 decades. 1988 was the first year that I sold picks professionally, was handicapping before that. And one of the best ways to handicap sports is you go with an underachieving team the previous year or under an overachieving team the previous year. This really applies in both college football and basketball, professional sports as well, but really college sports. And this is a textbook case of a matchup of both of these teams. Now, the Nittany Lions do have a year under their belt under Mike Yuritich, who is a Cal U, a PA grad, by the way. I do expect a sizable improvement on the offensive side of the ball from Penn State. Yeah, you know, returning starters can be a little bit overrated. Purdue does have the edge there at 16-10. But again, I do expect a little regression to the mean, and regression to or towards the mean can mean a team not just regressing but also progressing to the mean, although technically the term is regression to the mean or regression towards the mean or whatever. Anyway, the favorite was 9-2 in Penn State's contest last year, meaning the better team generally does cover their games. The odds makers make it clear that Penn State is the superior team here. And you're going to ask, well, wait a minute. And of course you always want to shop around, but do you want to go with the lower juice and buy it down to, or do you want to go with the lower juice at 3.5 or buy it down to 3? Now, I'm not big into buying a half a point. I do believe that Penn State definitely covers here. They win by at least 4, so my free winning pick for you is to go with Penn State. Let's take a look at some news and notes. West Virginia and Pittsburgh. Now, a lot of you out there really do believe in betting big dogs and big rivalries. This is resumption of one of the most heated rivalries in America, the Backyard Brawl. I've disproven that. I'm not, sometimes I like to take that I'll report, you decide approach. But for those of you who really are into, big dogs and big rivalries, this is a fairly big underdog. Some people like it to be double digits. What this is not. West Virginia quarterback was considered a blue chipper, and of course his ceiling is very high. The kid from Georgia and Daniels, kid from Georgia and USC as well. Fellow USC transfer Keaton Slovos takes over for Pittsburgh, but West Virginia does have the better quarterback here. Remember, Pittsburgh is losing serious talent on offense, led by their star quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Pickett is one of the best quarterbacks there. And again, I know they've had a guy who's in the NFL Hall of Fame. I didn't say necessarily the absolute best quarterback, but Pickett was very versatile. He's going to be very tough to replace. The Panthers with a new offensive coordinator and offense. Ball State and Tennessee, the Vols' second year in a high-tempo offense. They should adjust. Points are going to be pretty easy to come by. Ball State, though, breaking in a new quarterback. Ball State is 18-6, though, against the spread, the Power 6 teams. Their last loss of 35 or more was back in 2018, so a lot of people do think this game will be close. And, some people might even call not really. It's some, a lot of people would argue that Ball State maybe has a lot more motivation to keep this close, but Tennessee is a team, they've had some sanctions against them, and if maybe Tennessee could be in a statement mode here. So I don't think there's any really intangible advantage. Some systems here. College football underdogs of 3.5 or more playing their second game versus an opponent in their first game. 88, 73, and 1 since 1990. This will favor this week UTEP, Wyoming, Utah State, and North Texas. Meanwhile, college football underdogs in their first game of the year versus an opponent playing their second game are 159, 122, and 6 since 2008. This will favor Appalachian State, Texas State, and Ohio this week. Please, if you like this information, I ask you to share it, like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. We send this out to a bunch of different places, or if you're listening to it on the podcast, subscribe there. We appreciate your support. Make sure you do follow us on Twitter at Offshore Insider. Again, note the website is Offshore Insiders with an S, but no S because of the character limitations on Twitter at just Offshore Insider. But please add the S when you visit our website, offshoreinsiders.com.